Hey guys, so this is a video about, it's not necessarily a comparison between the Ruger LC9s versus the Smith & Wesson Shield no thumb safety. It's not a comparison between those. It's in such, it is, but it's more a feelings video. It's how they make me feel. Okay, so it's not, oh, I'm so in love, but it's how does it feel? Because that's a big thing, and I made the mistake because I didn't thoroughly check things. I did look at all reviews, I looked at all aspects, I looked at dimensions, and then I decided to get the Ruger LC9s. There are some superb reviews on it, talking about, it's unloaded, talking about, everything's unloaded, except for the magazines. They're loaded, they won't be going in the pistols. Anyway, the dimensions of it, the trigger pull of the LC9s is outstanding. The pistol fires like a champ. It's a wonderful piece of machinery. I'll talk about other things, but overall, that's what I'm going to say about it. This is a high quality pistol. Okay, I'll leave it at that. Why do I have this? Why do I have a shield? Why is this M&P shield in my house? Why is there no thumb safety? Interesting. So anyway, I first got this one. Didn't think the safety would be that big of a deal. I just wouldn't use it. Fact is, there's nothing in there. When I put it in the holster, I usually put the safety on in case I inadvertently pull the trigger. So just in case, and then I would turn it off and put it in my pocket. Sometimes you forget, sometimes you don't. I don't want that to happen. I thought I was being more safe, but it found out occasionally I'd find it on when I'm playing with it. If I have my hand in my pocket checking it, checking status, you know, I'd place my hand on it just to feel status and make sure everything's all right, make sure the trigger's covered, things like that, do a little safety check. I would notice that thing was on. That's never good. So that was kind of disturbing. I got the Smith & Wesson Pro 9L, and I can't tell you how much I love this pistol. It's really great. So I started looking at the quality of the Smith & Wessons, and then I started looking at the Shield. Originally I'd looked at comparisons between these two. This is what internet research gets you, by the way. So basically what I'm saying is go out and feel these stupid things and shoot the frickin' things. So feeling these two is a lot different. So yes, this is a piece of machinery that is awesome. In my opinion, this piece of machinery is awesomer. Yes, I said awesomer. Anyway, I feel it's a better pistol. And why? Because it makes me feel better. So I'll explain that. Number one, when you buy this stuff, this is pretty much what you get in the package. There's other crap too. There's locks and all the other jazz. But carrying around, this came with a gun and 2 magazines. Plus, this is exactly what I want. I want the standard flat base plate to be in the pistol so it doesn't print, it doesn't take up too much space either in my pocket or if I wear it on my hip, either way. This guy I can jam in another pocket. I get an extra round out of it. How cool is that? That's exactly what I wanted for this, and that's what I paid for. So it came with 1 magazine. I went out and bought another magazine. Hey, it's a 9-round magazine. Great. That's exactly what I wanted anyway. This guy had it already. Why didn't I look at this harder? Magazines for the weapons, higher priced. The Ruger's magazines are about $10 more than the ones for the Smith & Wesson. That's a big deal. These feel more high quality. Now I'm gonna start ragging a little bit on the Ruger. I'm sorry, here it comes. So again, my overall opinion of this is an outstanding firearm. Don't misunderstand what I'm gonna say from here on out because it's gonna dog this a lot. When I purchased this, I got this from Cheaper Than Dirt. They opened up a store here in Round Rock, and I went to Cheaper Than Dirt and I got this bad boy, and this was one of the last ones. It was one of the demo ones, you know, one of the ones in the rack. and I'm sure people fondled it and everything else, but it's a firearm. It's supposed to get tested that way. And everything was working fine. I took it to the range and I was gonna fire it, and I would shoot 2 rounds. I'm not putting this in all the way. I would shoot 2 rounds and bloop, the magazine would fall out. What the hell? Shoot 2 rounds, the magazine would fall out. 2 rounds, and I kept putting it back in. I kept jamming it in there harder. I think I had another 7-round magazine. I put it in there, did the same stupid thing. What the hell? Well, it turns out, still unloaded, it turns out that the Ruger LC9s has a problem with the magazine catch. So somewhere in there, there's an issue. And there's also an issue with the type of magazine you have. There, if you didn't know, there's a Made in Italy magazine, and there's a Made in the USA magazine. The USA ones are crap, the Italy ones are good. To make it as short as I can, unless you research that or look that up on the internet, you don't know it or have it happen. So I sent this back to Ruger, which was a pain in the butt, and overall, the experience was okay. I've never shipped a firearm through the mail before. That was kind of weird. But so they basically sent me a shipping label. I put it on a brown box, shoved this thing in there, and when I called them up, when I say it was basically an easy thing, the representative on the phone, his name was Josh, by the way. Josh was a total asshole and just a smart ass up and down the road, and I was being very nice. I don't feel comfortable shipping this. So I asked Josh, I said, is there another way to do this? Can I just take this to a gunsmith and y'all pay for this or something? I don't know. I mean, I wanted it fixed, but I didn't feel comfortable shipping it. Josh said, you can take it to a gunsmith if you want. And I said, yeah, but do you guys pick up the bill on this? I mean, it's a problem with your pistol. And I didn't say that. I said, but are you guys going to pay for this, or do I have to pay for that? How's that work? He says, oh, you're going to pay for it. And I said, well, that's no good. So I ended up shipping it to them. They shipped it back very quickly. They repaired the problem. They ended up replacing my magazine. I only sent one, and they gave me an Italian magazine, and they repaired this. They replaced it. I've seen videos on it. Whoopity-doo. It's fixed now. But will it last? That's my question. The only thing I could see in the store, people jamming it up there, pushing the button, jamming, pushing, and is this going to last? Is this going to be a failure item? I don't want to find out. I don't want to shoot, oh, piss. Shoot, piss, and lose it. All right, so there you go. So that kind of pissed me off. The thumb safety, I think I mentioned, was kind of, I didn't think it was going to be a problem, but it is. I don't trust it because I find myself enabling it or activating it. So that's not good. So I started looking around. Since I like the other Smith & Wesson so much, I said, piss, let's look at the shield. So I'm looking at the shield. And I kept looking at it, and then I held it. And I told you this video was going to be about the feels. It's the feels. This pistol feels much nicer, and I'll explain. It's unloaded. Alright, so this dude's closed. I have not fired it yet, by the way. I'll shoot it soon and tell you about it anyway. Firing this pistol, the Ruger, back to the Ruger, firing the Ruger hurt my knuckle like a champ. There's a square edge here that is not very ergonomic. You won't hear that on other videos either. Just pick the damn thing up. It's so skinny that it placed a lot of pressure on this knuckle. So you fire it, bam, and it hurt the tar out of this knuckle. And then now when I hold it, I can feel that it's going to hurt. I can feel that this knuckle's going to hurt. So I just know it's going to hurt. Alright, so that's that. When I pick this bad boy up, oh my gosh, that feels like heaven. That angle right there is just beautiful. I don't know whatever, it's better. It feels much better, and the holding it feels much better. Now, I can explain it more, but a lot of it is just based on feels. Feels, I got the feels. Anyway, so if you look at the two hand grips, this one from here to here is larger than here to here. And of course, grabbing one finger is harder than grabbing two if you're doing it on your hand. Same thing with this. That little bit of size, holy crap, that makes a big difference. A little bit of size makes a big difference. It does make me do this more. That feeling is still not loaded. Both of them are still not loaded. But the feeling between them, you can feel it very much. Dimensionally, they're close. I'm going to call it a close race. You can look at all the weights and dimensions somewhere else. But anyway, so moving on to the sights. If we're feeling the sights, if you look at those, you don't see much of a difference. You notice that the Smith & Wesson over here, they're larger and they appear brighter. We're going on feels and all everything about that. This one's darker. These are closer to the slide, but I did like that for coming in and out of pockets. But if you look at it, if the pistol is put away, this runs flush, okay, the other one's covered up, it doesn't really stinking matter. The whole top of the pistol is covered. That's the main reason I got it, is because it's so rounded and stuff like that. Okay, no big deal because it doesn't matter. This isn't much different based on the curvature. The sights, yes, they would catch if I just had this in my pocket, but I don't. I have it in a holster. The top of this, I'm using the same holster by the way, and it fits like a champ. It covers it up. Okay, big deal. So I pull it out of my pocket, it's good. Alright, so that's good. That just works. So getting back to the sights. You'll notice that these are darker and closer. These are bigger. That's a bonus. Holy smokes. This bigger, in this case, bigger is better. It is. I can quickly acquire a target. Much quicker. And that's nice. You can just see it very quickly. Well, something that you don't know or you don't see unless you either fire it or really sit and take a look at it. When you look through the Rugers, they all look the same. So you got 3 dots which look all the same. It's not a big deal. It works great. Until you look at something like this. I believe that these are all colored the same. So the front sight versus the rear sights, I believe they're colored the same. But it appears that they're not. When I say that, I think these are inset a little bit to where it's darker inside this inset. This is very small, but damn it, it's huge in the way it looks. So these being dull, a little bit duller, they're still highly visible, but they're a little bit duller than the front sight. It serves as a real good difference when you're looking down through it, because this guy, he's kind of angled a little bit more forward, and I think he catches more light. And then these guys are covered up a little bit, over the top. So I think that causes a difference enough to this. So this guy looks super bright. So finding it is like bam, and you got it. It's a great feeling because again you're focusing on the front side anyway. It's good to know where to focus and that it's just a little bit brighter. Okay, so there's the second one. So you have the ergonomics of the ass. You have the thickness of the grip, which does add a little bit. And before. Again, this is not a range pistol. This is something I'm carrying in my pocket. Hopefully I'll never, ever, ever use it. Except for at the range every now and then going plink, plink. Okay, it still works. Testing out my ammo, make sure it works. Rotating it, whatever the hell I'm doing. Just making sure that works. That's the only thing he'll be doing. But I tell you what, this one I wouldn't mind just shooting. I'll tell you in a little while because I would probably shoot it today. I won't go through the safety aspects of it. Okay, another win on this one. Tear down, you'll hear that a million times. Tear down on this is a little bit of a pain in the butt. But to be honest, I can do this toolless. I don't know if you see this anywhere, so he's still not loaded. You can do it toolless. This is hard to do, this little takedown lever. What you have to do is get this pin out. So you move the slide back a little bit, and then you take that pin out. The procedure is to push on this side, but honestly, if you once you've done it a couple times and you lube it a little bit or whatever you might do, if you pull the slide back a couple times, you can get him to come out. You see that? All I did was I'm just pulling back on the slide and it wiggles its way out and it'll drop down. Look at that. Now you can pull it out and it's all good, right? So that, I can do it toolless, but it's not easy. There, now that works again. Now the thing's up. It's a pain in the butt when I can just go like pull this back, push this down, and I'm done, right? I can reach in here, flip down the lever, pull the trigger, whatever. You can see a million videos on that. You know how to do that. So you'll win on takedown. You can still do this one without tools. Not as easy, not fun. There is a Ruger LC9s Pro, to be totally fair, that does not have the thumb safety and that will allow you to pull the trigger when there's no magazine. On this, there's a magazine disconnect. You'll see that everywhere also. I thought that's not going to be a pain in the ass. I tell you what, it is a pain in the ass. You try to take this thing down as easily as I showed you. Now try to pull the trigger so you can remove the slide. Well, shit. If I'm not in the other room and grab the stupid orange magazine that it comes with to jam it in here and turn off that magazine disconnect, then I take one of these and I have to unload the magazine and jam it in there, and then I can pull the trigger so I can take it apart. Well, that's fucking retarded. So that I don't like. Safety I can almost live with. That I can't. I didn't think it would be a big deal. I was mistaken. Magazine disconnects are stupid. Stupid, stupid, stupid. What that is, you just can't pull the trigger. I can do nothing. That's dumb. That's almost dangerous. What happens if I left a bullet in there and then try to do the magazine disconnect with the magazine because I was too lazy to go up and get that stupid orange piece? Which I usually am anyway, but I don't leave out the bullet. Anyway, so this guy wins again. I can pull this trigger all day long if I wanted to. There's nothing in it. Works like a champ. Have a good day. Please drive through. That's awesome. Going back to the feeling. Oh God, this feels so much better. All right, this is a weird one. Again, this is not a review about what's better of a pistol. This is about what I feel is better based on feelings. I'm going to call it plastic, okay? I realize it's some super high-tech polymer that is bulletproof, wind-resistant, and waterproof. But I'm going to call it plastic, okay? These plastic guns. This plastic feels more dense than this plastic. I mean that this one almost feels porous. I believe it's the texture they put on it, maybe. Whereas this one's more flat, more smooth. This feels like a tabletop. This one feels more warm temperature-wise. So if I pick this up, just from a table or whatever else, it feels cold. It feels cold and hard, and it does feel like I'm picking up steel. It feels very cold and hard. I pick this one up, and this guy feels like it's warm. It's a nice subtle touch. It feels like it wants to be touched. It's comfortable, and holy smokes, you just want to rock this thing, and you just want, because it feels very comfortable. It makes you happy when you pick the damn thing up. I'm sorry, it's just weird. It almost makes it feel lighter too. It's totally ridiculous that I'm even saying that, but it's the feeling I get from it. You can't get that through a stupid video or through a review. This trigger, I think, is balls better. I love it much more than this one. It wins hands down. The trigger's better, hotta hotta. I can get an Apex trigger kit if I want, if I really cared. I don't, because I tell you what, it's once I shoot it a few times, probably take, and I'm gonna polish it a little bit, but it'll take a little bit of the grit out. But boom, it fired. I'm happy with that. I'm not shaking. I'm not doing anything. It's not going crazy. It's a good feeling. It's got a great reset, and I'll tell you how it performs later. But it's a good pistol. So this guy, this is butter. If you're really a trigger queen and you worry about the trigger a bunch, that's the boss hog. The trigger on this wins hands down. No doubt about it. Beautiful. It almost scares the shit out of you. You just pull the thing, you go pow. Whoa. Okay. Yeah, this guy, you have to pull and you have to know. So I guess in that case, for the thumb safety, that's a good safety feature. But I mean, it's a nice, and then it goes. This guy is, I'm stuck, and then I break, and then it goes boom. So again, that's feeling. The feeling of the plastic is much nicer on this one, the Smith & Wesson, than it is the Ruger. Moving to the magazines. Let's go with the 7-round magazine equivalent of each. Smith & Wesson all the way. All the way. There's a million different reasons to say this magazine and the whole system is much better than the Rugers. We'll start out with insertion. Insertion of a full magazine is a chore in this. It's very hard. I say very hard. It's hard. Okay? You have to mean it. You have to push it, right? You have to mean it, and then you have to engage it, whatever. But look how easy this goes in. Watch. I can just go, butter. And then, you know, you got to do that part. When I push the eject, it comes out in my hand and says, I don't want this shit in me. I mean, it means it. Boom. Hey, have a nice day. It's done. And that was horizontal, by the way. That was horizontal. That's pretty damn cool. Anyway, so that's that. So the insertion, it's almost like it's a taper. So you got a big hole to fly into. Sorry, it's almost like it's a taper. It's almost like and you can got a big hole to go into, but then it gets smaller and fitted up there at the top. So that's cool with me. I can get it in there. As long as I can get it in there, I can jam it in, and I'm good. This dude, they're parallel. It feels parallel. And then you have to aim this little booger, this little thing in there. Little is good. I like having little to carry. That's I don't want to make that sound like a bad thing. Getting that in there is not too hard. Here's the eject on a horizontal. It's not bad, honestly. I mean, I don't expect it to shoot out horizontally, but this is a full magazine also. So if I do it vertically, how can you see that? No one pointed at me. It does pop out. I mean, whoopee-doo. I don't have a problem with that. That works fine. I don't want to do it too much because the damn thing may wear out, huh? I'm just kidding. No, I'm not. That's that. Another thing I've noticed, feeding these, just unloading it, sometimes is a real pain in the ass. Okay, this one works all right. Whatever. This one, the 9-round, you fuck that, man. Getting bullets out of this, it gets stuck on the second bullet. So the 9th gets stuck on the 8th. So if you're trying to pull this out, oh, it worked for me that time. Anyway, so frequently it gets caught on the 8th. So if you pack it in like that, it'll get stuck, and good luck trying to get it out. So that's what I got to say about the magazines. These guys, they're hard to load. But whatever, I'm sure the spring will wear down a little bit. Some people don't like this little butt plate thing because it moves. I don't really know. I don't care. Whatever. I may take it off. So the magazines in this, I don't feel are as good as this. This one wins hands down in all aspects. Ejecting these is easy as heck. So I can imagine if I can eject it with my hand easily, that the pistol will also be able to do it easily. What else on the feels? The serrations for the slide are nice on this. I can't really complain on this. The serrations on this are just awesomer. I said it again. I just like them. I like the fish scales. They work really well. They feel real nice. I'm going back to the feel. There's a little hang up in the buffer rod or the recoil spring rod, whatever the hell that's called. I can feel it right there. There's a little hang up, and I don't know if it needs to break in or what. We'll check it out. Have a couple rounds through it, but I can hear it. Yeah, did you hear that? Yeah, I don't like that. But it's brand new, so we'll find out after I shoot it. I'm sure it'll shoot fine. Again, this guy shoots like a stinking champ. Love it. I love the pistol, but it has enough downfall to where this guy's replacing it. So this guy's for sale. So I'm gonna get rid of it. And I think I'm gonna convert everything to Smith & Wesson. So even my little baby LCP will now become a bodyguard. A 380 bodyguard. And I do still carry this occasionally if I'm wearing really small pants or something like that, shorts. Tuck it in really easy. Anyway, so I'll probably convert that to a bodyguard. I'm all Smith & Wesson now. I'm all about it. I like the quality of it. I've never had a failure. There's been 0 failures on about 800 rounds on this bad boy, which is to be expected. This guy, I don't think I've really had any failures other than the ones I discussed about the magazine, which has been corrected, but will it happen again? I don't know. America, that's all I got to say on this. It's a beautiful feeling pistol. It makes me happy. This one made me happy also, but it feels like a little cold German, you know, a little cold plastic. Even sounds cold. See, you can't tell that. It just sounds cheap. I don't know if you can hear that, but it's there in my head, my goofy ass head. But I tell you what, it's my gun, so my head matters. Anyway, so if you like the feels video, let me know. If you don't like it, let me know, whatever. But that's the way I feel about them. And I feel that that is very important. Again, this only came with one magazine. This dude came with exactly what I wanted, which was 2. I think it's a no-brainer if I got to pay 40-something bucks for this piece of crap. And this is a Made in America one. So how long will that work? Don't know. What I understand about the Made in America and the Made in Italy magazines, in case you haven't looked it up, the Made in Italy magazines has a little bit thicker metal. That's what I understand. I still have a Made in America magazine also. So if you want to buy this, you're welcome to. It's the pistol. I added the Laser Max green laser. That's expensive if you look that up. I got 3 magazines. One of them is a 9-round, 2 7-rounds. I don't think anybody will take me up on it, but there it is. I'll probably just take it to the store and sell it there. But anyway, yep, love this bad boy. I'll go give it some shots today. Hope you like these kind of videos. If you want to see any other videos about anything, any of the guns anyway right now, I'll be happy to make one. Just let me know. Thank you very much for watching. Like it, don't like it, thumb up, thumb down, subscribe, whatever you want to do. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.